Okay, so I've got my afternoon coffee. Actually, I just finished it, so it's more of a prop, but let's get into what I did this week. If you did not watch my last video, what I'm doing is learning from the art and work and life of one of my favorite artists, Édouard Vuillard, who was a French painter around the beginning of the 20th century. So this week, what I focused on a lot was color. I feel like you can hear my dog's collar. I think I'm starting to, I'm gonna let him out, be right back. I'm gonna try to make it look like I'm holding him. So I'm gonna put up on the screen some of the Vuillard pieces that have been inspiring me the most over the past week. Something that I love about his work, and especially these pieces, is just how much he leans into simplicity. He's not shying away from keeping things simple and sometimes having just areas where you really only see 1 to 2 colors. And I think that's something that I struggle with because I always want to put so much information in there. And sometimes I feel like if I leave it too simple, then it looks unfinished or just like maybe it's not impressive enough. I don't know. So that is something that I want to lean into more, is just keeping things simple and seeing how much I can take away from a composition or a color palette before it starts to look like it's lacking. Because I think I tend toward putting too much. I feel like I'm starting to see color in a different way just because of these exercises I've been doing. I think I'm breaking some habits that I've had for many years when it comes to color. There are certain things that I just always go for, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think I'm really broadening my capabilities and just my understanding of color palettes and color mixing. So that's really exciting.
Blaze Foley.
Oh yeah.
Which is another reason why I think the Blaze name for a kid would be really, really
Oh,
cool.
true.
He's one of my favorite songwriters ever.
Yeah, I love that song.
So I've been sitting outside for a while painting. I think I finished the thumbnail version of the painting of my parents that I'm planning to do multiple versions of. And this time I went for a way more neutral color palette. I'll flip the camera around and show you what I have. So this is what I ended up doing. I wanted to go for a more neutral palette this time. I know in my first version, the chartreuse, which was my background, I just did a wash of it. That showed through a lot and I really like that. But I wanted to try something a little different with this one and keep it very neutral. And I really leaned into that really pretty like blue-green color. So I'm happy with this, but I am wondering if it is not quite interesting enough. I'm not sure. So when I do the full-sized piece, we'll see if I end up changing it at all. I probably will. As the last bar closes. Okay, so just to pause and let you in on my decision making for this piece, what I'm seeing here is that the color I mixed for the walls of the house is a lot closer, or it's reading a lot closer to this brighter blue-green that I wanted for out the window. However, I am really liking it. Like, I'm really liking this color, and I'm almost wondering if it would be more interesting to lighten up the value of what's out the window, because that's how it is in this one, and that's how it is in the original photo. Of course, the value in the window is much lighter, and I didn't do that at all in this mini sketch. So I think I'm going to revert back to that and maybe also make it a more neutral color so that it just gets pushed back into the background, and I'm going to minimize the amount of contrast as well, kind of how I did here, just so that it reads as being through the window and it's not competing for your attention with the figures. Okay, let's see what we can find that is still life material. Okay, this is what I grabbed from inside. So we got this pink vase, the little wooden bowl. I put the petals in there, and these are some dried daffodils. Is that what that's called? Yeah. And then I thought the contrast of the blue book under the yellow would be nice, so I'm gonna do a little sketch of this in my sketchbook. The palette is so dirty right now, and I'm honestly just too lazy to go wash the paper. So we're working with it, okay? It'll be fine. So I thought I would show you guys where I'm at on this piece. This is it currently, and the bubblegum pink layer that I laid down first is really influencing the colors that I'm veering towards. It's just crazy how, like, I thought I was spot on. This is my color study. I thought I was spot on with that pink, but no, I was not. I was way off, which is fine because I also really like this. But I had a much warmer toned color scheme going on here, and then this more like cool toned bubblegummy pink made me really lean into a more blue, like there's turquoise. I'm reading all of this as turquoise, which is just interesting because I never go for that color, but something about the pink was making me want to lean in that direction. So anyway, this is it so far, and to see the finished piece, watch my next video because I will definitely show it. And yeah, I'm excited to see where I'm gonna take this because I feel like it could go multiple different directions. I was playing around a lot with colors in this shirt, and kind of adding a bit of a yellowish hue here, which I like, but definitely it's unfinished, so thought I would show you that. Okay, I think right here I'm going to insert a clip that I took like a week ago. I was traveling, I was in Virginia, and it was right after I saw the first comments on my last video, which I thought had like 0 views. So I just kind of sat down and recorded my reaction to that. And then I also went through and showed you some of my sketchbook pages and stuff I'd been working on. So I'll insert that clip here. Okay, so this is weird because in my last video, I didn't feel like I was talking to anyone because I honestly didn't think anybody would watch it. I thought maybe like 10 people I know would watch it. And I saw a message on my Instagram from somebody who watched the last video saying that she really loved it and was glad that it came up in her home feed. So I went and looked at the video, which I thought had like 10 views max, and it had like 800 and a lot of likes and like really nice comments that honestly shocked me, because I felt like making any kind of content was like just shouting into a void. Like when I share my art on Instagram, or I share it very seldom because it doesn't seem like anybody sees it, or like very few people see it. And it can just be discouraging. I don't feel entitled to having feedback. I don't use social media that much, and I don't want other people to be on it all the time, just like giving me praise. So yeah, it's kind of complicated. It's like I want to connect with people, but I'm aware that social media is not an ideal way to do so. So when I post something and I get no feedback, I don't usually take it hard or take it personally. It's just I've kind of come to accept that that's how it is. But all that to say that getting 10 sincere comments from people actually responding to what I was saying in the last video and like sharing their experience and responding to different things I said, that was so amazing, and that was way more than I expected. I think making that video, I really felt like I wanted to share, and I had somewhat high hopes but really low expectations, and my expectations have already just been so exceeded by the response that I got. So thank you. If you watched my last video, if you left a comment, thank you so much. I'm gonna read and respond to all of them thoughtfully, because I was just scrolling through and I'm amazed that people, it's so heartening that people are using YouTube to connect and to have real conversations. I don't usually comment on videos because I always feel like it doesn't matter. And now I realize commenting on somebody's video, something sincere, can really make their day. And so I would like to do that more myself, because there's so many people that I've found on here that have had such an impact on me. And yeah, I don't usually let them know that. So anybody who commented on the last video, thank you. You're teaching me that something like that can actually mean a lot. And I just really appreciate that you took the time to do that. So I am, like I said, in Virginia, across the country from where I live. And I recently discovered that you can just like bring art supplies through airport security. I don't know why I thought you couldn't, but I never brought acrylics anywhere until more recently. And now I've been bringing them with me whenever I go somewhere. So I'll show you what I've been working on. One of my biggest YouTube inspirations in the world is Sandy Hester. I love her videos, and hers is one of the channels that made me feel like I really should share my art, because I love watching what she shares. So I was watching an old video of hers before leaving, and she had printed out just black and white photocopies of some family photos, and I've been working from family photos a lot as well, so I figured that was a good idea. There's this photo of my brother holding a chicken, and I really want to do a painting of this, so I brought that. And then there's also this one of my niece picking up rocks. And then there's this photo of my sister, brother-in-law, and my niece. So these are 3 that I wanted to sketch and experiment with, creating compositions based on those photos. So I showed this briefly in the last video. This is a little still life of a lemon and the blue muscari plant that I have at home. This is a little painting I did while I was at the river, the same place that I showed last time, except, well, we went to a different area near the river, and gotta move that. Yeah, this was with my sister, my niece, and my brother-in-law, and my sister just sat out this picnic blanket, and they were sitting on it, and there was like a charcuterie board. It was like too much going on. I wasn't going to try to paint all of it, so I just did the little corner of the blanket and the ducks in the river behind it. Okay, so I got these markers. I was really wanting to experiment with mapping out the values in a composition before starting on it, and I thought a cool way of doing that would be to get just like 3 different values of marker, which I did. So I picked up this Faber-Castell one because I'm really picky about grays. I hate cool grays typically. Like, I do like bluey grays, not Bluey the show. I like bluish gray, but if it's just like a gray that seems bluish, I don't like it, if that makes sense at all. I like warmer tones in my grays, so I'll show you this. Oh wow, this is awkward. Ah! Look at that nice warm toned gray. It's just like, oh, there's just something subtly warm about it that I really like. And then this brand didn't have, at least at my art supply store, they didn't have any other grayscales. So I went for, what is this? Tombow marker, and I got that one for the next darker. And then I got this one for the darkest. So I'm seeing a lot of like mauve undertones. I'm almost seeing a little greenish mauve in here. And I've been working a lot with the mixture of red and green to get my neutrals. So that's why I went for these gray markers. Because even though I'm not planning on making any finished work with these, I'm sketching out these little thumbnails and I have to look at them and I want them to look nice. So these have been cool. It is not what I'm used to, so I'm not used to working with markers at all, ever. So we'll see if I get the hang of it and if I end up really liking that. This is a little painting that I did of, we collect our compost and we usually just put it in the green bin, but we have it in a bucket before we take it out to the green bin. And I looked in the bucket and it was just like this beautiful array of eggshells, orange peel, and beet, like the bottoms of beets. So I thought it was too pretty to just chuck out. So I put them all on this blue little plate that I have and created a little still life. And I think it's pretty lovely. I like the colors. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to train my eye to see what it was like to work with these kinds of colors when I'm working from life. This one also was really good for practicing my colors, because typically when I'm painting from life, I go way too true to color, like green is green, and it ends up too bright, too green. So I really liked this painting and this painting for helping me lean into those neutrals and to color combinations that I wouldn't normally reach for. Okay, this is a little grayscale of my brother with the chicken. And then this is me beginning to block it out with my acrylics. So I started this morning. I'll probably continue to work on this some more now. And then the only other art that I've done on this trip so far is, it was desperation art. Because I was so bored. We flew standby and I'm sandwiched between these 2 guys and we're in the emergency exit row. So I can't like keep my backpack under my seat. So I didn't have any of my drawing supplies and I've been into like doodling on flights. So I was just like going crazy a little bit. It was only 4.5 hours, but I swear I was going crazy. This is a French like mystery novel I've been slowly but surely working on. Trying to keep my French skills sharp. So I brought this on the trip, and I doodled on the front page. So February 28th, doodles in the dark on a plane. And then I've also been reading Confessions by St. Augustine, which I thought was going to be so hard to read and hard to understand, but shockingly it's absolutely not. I've been really loving it, and I drew that too, so I was just like copying the cover with my little pen drawing. That was nice, that was fun, and honestly I think it looks really cool.
He's not up there right now. Oh yeah, he is.